Hello, Satyou Singh.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Lenka Kubelová, and I'm from publishing house Alferia. And we recently published the book Kundaliní Yoga as Path of Soul or as Journey of Soul, which is the translation from German from your book. We are excited that we have it in Czech.
I have the German one here.
Yeah, so
I'm very happy that you translated the book. I'm very grateful to you.
Thank you. We are happy that we have the book in Czech language because I find it as a very original topic with the spine and vertebrae. For the readers, the book goes vertebra per vertebra, and it's can be read as a program for 1040 days. When
Yes.
For every vertebra, you got some exercises and kriyas, mantras, and something to work on. So that's this very original concept. I would say it's some kind of spiritual development. And I would like to ask, how did you come to this spine concept, or why did you decide to make a book on spine and vertebrae?
Well, you want the truth?
Yeah.
That's a nice story. The truth is, I'm a writer. I have written already 6 books. This is my 6th book, and I'm working on the 7th book at the moment. So I just, that is the basics. I very much like to write. I like words. I like putting them in the right order. I like to bring them to sound, to have a nice influence on people. And my original plan was, I'm getting older. I'm going to die, maybe not next week, but it's not going to last 50 more years or something, you know. And I had such a rich life with so many experiences. I thought, let me write an autobiography. So I wrote all the stories of my life that I thought were had a meaning to other people, you know. All the lessons that I learned, all the things I did wrong, and all the things that happened to me. And when I was finished with that, I called the person that published my last book, which was about death and dying, and I said, "Hey, how are you? I wrote an autobiography." And he basically said, nobody reads autobiographies anymore. So I had to do something. And then I was thinking, I had 24 stories or something, you know, 24. I was thinking, how can I make something out of it that is interesting for everybody? And there is a number in Kundalini Yoga. The number 26 is very important. And it's not only about the spine. There's 26 vertebrae in the spine. But even the feet, there's 26 bones in the feet. And even the hands, there's 27. I mean, God kind of miscalculated a little bit. There's 27 bones in the hands. So the number 26 is very important. And I had 26 stories. With a little bit, 24, and little, I could squeeze out a few more stories, so I had 26. So I was thinking, the spine has 26 bones, I have 26 stories. And this is how it goes, you know. A good book writes itself. You know, you're like, as a writer, you're a medium. and it comes through you, and you just you like the job, you're kind of like a wordsmith, but it actually the inspiration, it comes through you. So from this 26 vertebra, I started to research the all I could about vertebra, and I found some very interesting websites and very interesting books that showed that each vertebra is connected through the spinal nerves with different organs and parts of the skin and parts of muscles and glands, and there were even stories about how they're connected with the chakras, and I could connect it with other concepts from Kundalini Yoga. So I started to see the spine is so alive. It is so much like an instrument of consciousness. And of course, as a Kundalini yogi, as somebody who has practiced Kundalini Yoga since 1975 very intensively, I came to the idea, most people that do Kundalini Yoga, they transform, they change, they become, hopefully, better people, more sensitive, more aware. But it does not usually happen in 2 days or 3 days. When that happens, it is more like an emergency. It's not always so nice. In Kundalini Yoga, it is step by step by step by step. So I came to the concept of the slow Kundalini. The slow Kundalini that doesn't rise up like a rocket in a couple of days, but that takes weeks and weeks and months and years and maybe even lifetimes to go up. And that was the next step. So I connect each one of the vertebra to a step in the Dharma. In the Dharma, you know the word Dharma, it means lifestyle, it means wisdom, it means a way of life. So with each vertebra that you go up, you are connected to a whole microcosmos of nerves and glands and chakras. And you first have to work on this topic. If every vertebra is a topic, every vertebra is an extremely complicated topic with lots of challenges. There are vertebrae that are more connected to social topics, like around the heart center. There are vertebrae that are connected more to finding the proper way around work and money and in the lower chakras. And so I made a kind of from the spine, I made kind of like a map how to get up all these 26 steps. And then it was, yeah, exactly. And to each one of those steps, I coined one phrase that you have to master. But of course, this is just like a title. The actual process is much more complicated than that. And then we have in Kundalini Yoga, we have this system that if you really want to master a technique, a yoga exercise or a couple of yoga exercises that we call the Kriya, it takes 40 days, minimum 40 days. But if you do it 40 days every day, it drops in your brain compartment after compartment after compartment after compartment, and then after 40 days it clicks and you have learned it. So the idea of this book is take the time. They're not very, the exercises you don't need to do 2.5 hours a day. Just do this 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, but do it every day, and I will guide you through this whole incredibly complicated staircase, and you will, in 40 days times 26, which is 1040, you will do this wonderful wonderful pilgrimage up to the top. And that's the idea behind the book. And I could never have thought of it in the beginning, but I was kind of guided into it, you understand?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. I really like the idea that it's the system of spine and vertebrae, and then there's an autobiographic and interesting life story, and then there you have the points or stops on the way with those vertebrae. I even redraw the vertebrae while I was reading that, because for me the book is illustrated. It was interesting for me how to really to deal with vertebrae, how they look like, what they are, the connections there. And also I was interested what was for me quite, now you mentioned also the concept of slow Kundalini. I find it very current, because now when we live in the global lockdown, or maybe in the time of degrowth, so there's a lot of slow concepts like slow food, slow fashion. And when I read about slow Kundalini, I was like, yeah, that's important too. And and I also you mentioned when you talk about slow Kundalini that you have never experienced some dramatic awakening of Kundalini, and that that can happen as well, that you just don't have that dramatic burst of energy or of some. So maybe could you tell us more about that, about why that happened, when happened that dramatic outbursts, and it is not necessary to experience it for everyone, or something more about this?
There's a big difference between spontaneous Kundalini awakening and Kundalini yoga. Mm-hmm. Spontaneous Kundalini awakening can be very good. It can be very good. I'm not speaking against it. Maybe in your last lifetime, your last incarnation, you are a yogi and you do so much, and then you die before you could get liberated. And then in the next lifetime, you just take one deep breath and off you go, you know. You're back on the tracks and you get enlightened and everything is fine and fantastic. But this is not always the case. There is a lot of Kundalini awakening that is not so friendly. It can happen through accidents, that people fall on their bottom, on the edge of the bathtub, or it can happen through drugs, LSD, especially the mind-expanding drugs, and it can happen also through doing lots of meditation but not doing any body work. So the channels are not strong and clear, and the energy gets stuck. There's like 6 different points in the body where the energy can get stuck, and it can get very difficult psychologically and physically. With Kundalini yoga, there is a mixture of body work and meditation, and the body work prepares the channel, and the meditation sends the energy through it, and that is why it is in general more balanced, and it doesn't have the dangers that a spontaneous Kundalini awakening has. But it is slower. It is slower. That's the. But if it is slower, it's like with slow food. You can enjoy it more, maybe.
Thank you. And my last question for now would be about how are you now? How is the situation now in Germany, or what would you recommend us to keep calm, or to regeneration, or if there are some and if you have some good wishes for the book and Czech readers.
Well, of course, I have my best wishes for the book. I would say the way that society is changing is, it's really like the book is just a few years before what happens to society. Everything is getting more slow and more thoughtful, and what is a better time? You want to travel, you want to develop yourself, you want to see things that you've never seen, but you cannot go out. So go in. And if you go in, this is a wonderful guide, and it will take you on a pilgrimage that is comparable to the pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela or whatever Indian walkways that you can do. But it goes inside, and all you need is a book. So it's the best way to make use of this very, very special and not always easy situation. So I think, yeah, I would really recommend it.
Thank you. That was nice.
Also, the stories are very nice. It's not just technical book. It's a very nice storybook also.